Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-Aliyyil Azim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Abil Qasim al-Mustafa Muhammad. وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here with you, and I am from bottom of my heart grateful to the service that you give to our community. When I travel, I always try to meet teachers and show my respect to the teachers in the community. And inshallah, by offering this service, you would be contributing to the growth and development of our community, and also inshallah in return you would receive lots of blessings and barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your own personal life. I often say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never remain in debt to anyone. So if you do something for Him, definitely you will get it back in a much more greater way. Of course, we know that everything, even the things that we offer, come from Him, but still He considers it as a service and as a gift, and He gives you back. So what I want to share with you is basically some reflections on two hadiths, and I hope inshallah they will help us appreciate more the gift of teaching and the gift of learning, and somehow contributing to this. Maybe you are doing some administrative job, but still you are contributing to this process of teaching and learning. I have selected two hadiths from our collections of hadiths. One is this hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that Allama Majlisi rahmatullah alayhi mentions in Bihar al-Anwar. He says, جاء رجل من الأنصار إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وآله. One of the Ansar, the people of Medina, who welcomed Muhajirin to their town, and as you know, they actually some of them went to Mecca to invite people to Medina. So one of these Ansar went to the Prophet and said, Ya Rasulallah, إذا حضرت جنازة ومجلس عالم أيهما أحب إليك أن أشهد? If at the same time two things happen, a person has died and there is funeral, there's procession for that mayyit, and there is an alim who has a majlis. So where I should go? Should I go to the majlis of alim, or I say today is a special day, I go to the funeral, another time I go to majlis? Rasulullah said, إن كان للجنازة من يتبعها ويدفنها. If there is someone to take care of this janazah, this mayyit, to take part in the funeral and then bury this mayyit, فإن حضور مجلس عالم أفضل من حضور ألف جنازة. If there is, because wajib kifai, we have to bury the dead. But if there is someone who can take care of this, there's enough of people to take care of it, to participate in the gathering, in the sitting, in the majlis that alim is giving knowledge, is better than attending 1,000 funerals. وَمِنْ عِيَادَةِ أَلْفِ مَرِيضٍ. It's also better than visiting 1,000 ill people. You know, in Islam, it's very much recommended to visit people when they become ill. But going to a majlis for learning is better than 1,000 funeral plus visiting 1,000 ill people. وَمِنْ قِيَامِ أَلْفِ لَيْلَةٍ plus doing tahajjud for 1,000 nights. وَمِنْ صِيَامِ أَلْفِ يَوْمٍ and fasting 1,000 days. وَمِنْ أَلْفِ دِرْهَمٍ يُتَصَدَّقْ بِهَا عَلَى الْمَسَاكِينَ and also giving 1,000 dirham, silver coin, as charity to the poor people. وَمِنْ أَلْفِ حِجَّةٍ سِوَى الْفَرِيضَةِ and doing 1,000 hajj, which is mustahab, not farida, hajj which is mustahab. وَمِنْ أَلْفِ غَزْوَةٍ سِوَى الْوَاجِبِ تَغْزُوهَا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ بِمَالِكَ وَنَفْسِكَ and also better than 1,000 ghazwa, you know, going to battle, which is not wajib. For example, there are enough people, but you want to get the reward of being in jihad with your money or your life. Then Rasulullah said, أَيْنَ تَقَعُ هَذِهِ الْمَشَاهِدْ مِنْ مَشْهَدِ عَالِمٍ. Actually, how can we compare these to being with an alim? Even all these things would not be comparable to that. Then Rasulullah gives the explanation. أَمَا عَلِمْتَ haven't you known أَنَّ اللَّهَ يُطَاعُ بِالْعِلْمِ وَيُعْبَدُ بِالْعِلْمِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can only be obeyed with knowledge. If you don't have knowledge or proper knowledge, sooner or later you deviate, you go astray. You are not able to obey Allah as He wills or worship Him as He wills. أَمَا عَلِمْتَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يُطَاعُ بِالْعِلْمِ وَيُعْبَدُ بِالْعِلْمِ وَخَيْرُ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ مَعَ الْعِلْمِ. If you want the good of dunya and the good of akhirah, it's only with ma'rifah, with knowledge. وَشَرُّ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ مَعَ الْجَهْلِ. And the bad things of dunya and the bad things in akhirah, the evil comes with ignorance. So this is one of hundreds of hadiths, but this is very very well said, very clearly said. Otherwise, there are hundreds of hadiths. Inshallah, I will share one more that shows how important is knowledge, and therefore how important is to learn, to teach, to help people learn. If we visit ill people, if we, for example, do tahajjud, we fast, but without knowledge, without ma'rifah, we don't go anywhere. Even we may go actually to worse condition. You know, people like Khawarij, they were so much worshipping that there were marks of sajda very clearly on, not normal mark, their skin was affected. They were fasting, they were worshipping. There are people today who think they are doing some good services, they are ready to kill themselves, to commit suicide. They think they are doing something good, but because they don't have ma'rifah, and they have not learned from proper scholars, you see what they are doing. Not only they are not getting any reward, they are causing great harm to themselves and to other people, and they will be punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next hadith, which is narrated by Shahid Thani, the second martyr in Munyatul Murid, is through authentic chain of narration to Imam Reza alayhi salam. So he says, بالإسناد الصحيح إلى أبي الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا عليه السلام عن آبائه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So Imam Reza from Imam Kazim from Imam Sadiq up to Rasulullah. Rasulullah said, you are all familiar with the first part of the hadith, but hadith is a long hadith. Normally only the first part is recited. طلب العلم فريضة على كل Muslim. Seeking knowledge is an obligation for all Muslims. Seeking knowledge. Some people say, I am old, or I am not very, sharp. I am not, learning quickly. I can never become a learned person. What's the point? The answer is, it's not a matter of how much you actually make progress. It's a matter of how much you make efforts. Talabul ilm, seeking knowledge. You have to be seeking knowledge. How much you gain, that's to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will be rewarded based on your efforts. لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. Your efforts are the major factor in reward. Some people maybe have very, good environment and everything is available and they are very sharp, very intelligent, very bright. They don't make any efforts. They cannot get the same reward with someone that makes great efforts. So, seeking knowledge is important. And I should also mention this point, especially people who are teaching. Please never be satisfied with the knowledge that you have. A teacher who is not seeking knowledge can never be a good teacher. A teacher must always be seeking knowledge. You must be actually more thirsty for knowledge if you have learned something. As we have in some hadith, knowledge is like salty water. When you are thirsty and you take salty water, you become more thirsty. In a good sense here, of course. If you look at our great ulama, you see they are much more thirsty for knowledge than their students. A good teacher should always be seeking knowledge. Even if you have taught a subject 10 times, the next time you are going to teach, you have to prepare yourself. You have to study more. Study materials which directly relate to the subject, and also study materials that can support. Because as you know, I'm sure you have all this experience, that maybe in a class on fiqh, then something about akhlaq is raised. Maybe something about aqa'id. All these subjects are interconnected. You cannot say, I only prepare myself for this topic. No. You have to have a very comprehensive knowledge so that you can do justice. I don't want to frighten you of the responsibility that you have, but I'm just try to make it, inshallah, always better and improve it. So, seeking knowledge is an obligation for all Muslims. Then Rasulullah said two things which are very important, very, very important for any seeker of knowledge. فَاطْلُبُوا الْعِلْمَ مِنْ مَظَانِّهِ وَاقْتَبِسُوهُ مِنْ أَهْلِهِ. When you want to seek knowledge, you have to observe two major principles. Where to get the knowledge and from whom. It's very important. Rasulullah said, seek knowledge fi mawannihi, from places that are prepared for passing knowledge. For example, if you want to buy food, if you want to buy bread, where do you find bread? You go to a bakery. You don't go to, for example, a butchery to buy bread. Or you don't go to a place which, randomly or seldom, sells bread because bread might be not fresh, not reliable. You go to a place which is a hub. Many people go for buying bread. And also, وَاقْتَبِسُوهُ مِنْ أَهْلِهِ, and also take it from its people. So, knowledge, please remember this. Knowledge is not a product that you can disregard the one who presented it. Okay? I can buy a laptop from any person. As long as the laptop is okay, I can buy it from any shop. Even if I don't like the shopkeeper, I can buy the laptop and it still will work. But knowledge is not like this. Knowledge has the mark of the teacher on it. It's like a child. You cannot have child from any person. The mother's mark will remain on the child forever. The mark of the teacher remains on the knowledge. So you should seek knowledge from qualified, pious teachers. Ahli. Unfortunately, some people say, no, we can take from any source and we have understanding, we can select. No. That is for people who have become scholars, and even that will not make that person your teacher. Teacher is something else. I can, for example, go to a person who is a very vicious person, but he has some knowledge and seek knowledge, but he never becomes my teacher. My teacher, especially for teaching me religion, must be people that I have full respect for them. I can open my mind and heart to them without hesitation. That can be my teacher. But if I have to always keep a guard, that cannot be my teacher. When it comes to teaching me Islam, I should have more trust in my teacher than my parents, because my parents may not be qualified teachers. I love them, but teacher is the one that I trust for teaching me Islam. So it's very important for us to find out who are qualified teachers, and for those who are teachers to know how great is their position. And always they should keep up the standards for this position. a teacher is in maximum, in highest position. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a teacher. Ar-Rahman allama al-Quran. خلق الإنسان علمه البيان. It's so important that although creation comes before teaching, yeah, Allah should have said Ar-Rahman خلق الإنسان علم القرآن. Yeah, because first we have to be created, then we can be taught. But teaching is so important, and actually we are created so that we can be taught. So he says, Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, Khalaq al-Insan. So Allah is teacher. Rasulullah is teacher. Rasulullah said, Bu'ithtu mu'alliman. I have been sent as a teacher. Bitta'aleem ursiltu. I have been sent in order to teach. So teachers have great position, and we should be grateful to Allah if Allah has given us this role, but also we should always work hard to fit into this position. Then Rasulullah said, فَإِنَّ تَعَلُّمَهُ لِلَّهِ تَعَالَى حَسَنًا. Learning for the sake of Allah by itself is hasana. It's a good deed. Then, of course, on top of that, you would learn many good things to do. But just learning by itself is hasana. For example, if I learn how to say my prayer, this learning is hasana. Then when I do my prayer, that's extra hasana. Just learning by itself is a hasana. وَطَلَبَهُ عِبَادَةٌ. And seeking knowledge is worship. Is an act of worship. So, no matter where you teach, when you and your students enter a room, you make it a temple. You make it a place of worship. You make it a ma'bad. So when there is a board, when there are books, when there is a pen, when there is student and teacher, that becomes a place of worship. And therefore it's very important, you should always be with wuzu. When you come to madrasa, you should come with wuzu. And with this understanding that I'm going to a holy place, to a sacred place. وَالْمُذَاكَرَةُ بِهِ تَسْبِيحٌ. When you discuss these issues about learning, aqaid, akhlaq, ahkam, anything that makes us better person, anything that can make us a better servant of Allah, a better member of community. Discussing these things is tasbih. It's glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tasbih is not just to say subhanallah. Tasbih means to be in the right direction, facing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and bringing good to this world. You know, Musa alayhi salam, when Allah asked him to go and speak to Pharaoh, he made some dua. رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِّسَانِي يَفْقَهُوا قَوْلِي وَاجْعَل لِّي وَزِيرًا مِّنْ أَهْلِي هَارُونَ أَخِي. He asked all these things. Why? كَيْ نُسَبِّحَكَ كَثِيرًا وَنَذْكُرَكَ كَثِيرًا. So that we can make more tasbih. We can remember you more. So everything that Musa said to Pharaoh, everything that he went through was just some instances of tasbih. So tasbih is a very important concept. I have some lectures on tasbih. If you want, you can listen online. So al-mudhakaratu bih when you discuss knowledge, this is tasbih. And you know, Sheikh Abbas al-Qummi in Mafatihul Janan says, in Laylatul Qadr, according to what Sheikh al-Saduq said, the best thing in Laylatul Qadr is mudhakaratul ilm. To understand, to discuss with a scholar how we can increase our understanding of our faith, our relation with Allah, our responsibility. وَالْعَمَلُ بِهِ جِهَادٌ. If you act upon your knowledge, this is a great struggle. Jihad. You are mujahid if you act upon your knowledge. وَتَعْلِيمُهُ مَنْ لَا يَعْلَمُهُ صَدَقَةٌ. When you teach people who don't know, this is sadaqah, this is charity. Sadaqah is not just money or food. Zakat is not just giving money. Zakatul ilmi nashruhu. You have to spread knowledge. وَبَذْلُهُ لَأَهْلِهِ قُرْبَةٌ إِلَى اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. When you give knowledge to the people that need it, this is qurbatun ilallah. This is a means of getting nearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Rasulullah makes very beautiful reasoning, arguments, how knowledge is so important. I want to give you a chance to ask questions or share ideas. I also want to share with you more of this hadith, so I don't know what to do, but maybe I just quickly translate it, then I stop so that if you have questions or ideas to share. He says, لأنه معالم الحلال والحرام. Ma'alim means signs. This like traffic signs or directions. You get it. This is called ma'alim. Knowledge gives you signs, as ways to understand what is halal, what is haram. وَمَنَارُ سَبِيلِ الْجَنَّةِ. In dark night, you want to find your way to heaven. You need light. Manar is a place from which light comes. Yeah. So also we have, minarets, because they used to have also light on the top. So in this dark passage that we have to go through lots of darkness. Knowledge is a place from which light comes and illuminates our path. Al-Munisu fil Wahsha. When you are alone, knowledge gives you acquaintance. You will not be alone. Whoever has knowledge is not alone. Was-Sahibu fil Ghurba. And gives you company when you are a stranger. Wal-Wahda, when you are alone. Al-Muhaddithu fil Khalwa. When you are in private, there is no one there, knowledge would speak to you, would talk to you, would communicate to you. وَالدَّلِيلُ عَلَى السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. In the times of difficulties and ease, it's your guide. وَالسِّلَاهُ عَلَى الْأَعْدَاءِ. It's a weapon against the enemies. The greatest enemy is jahl, is deception, is illusion, is confusion, is doubt. Knowledge is weapon against them. وَالزَّيْنُ عِنْدَ الْأَخِلَّاءِ. And it's also adornment with friends. Everyone loves people who have knowledge. A'da hate those who have knowledge, and friends love those who have knowledge. يَرْفَعُ اللَّهُ بِهِ أَقْوَامًا. Allah raises with knowledge some people, فَيَجْعَلُهُمْ فِي الْخَيْرِ قَادَةً, and make them in doing good things leaders. In Islam, one of the main requirements of leaders, in whatever level they are leading, is knowledge. Knowledge is a requirement, plus, of course, taqwa. But we cannot have any leadership position without knowledge, as we cannot have any leadership position without taqwa. So Rasulullah says, Allah with knowledge raises some people and makes them qada. Qada means leaders. Fil khair. In showing people how to get to good things. تقتبس آثارهم ويقتدى بفعالهم وينتهى إلى آرائهم. These are the people that their actions will be followed by other people and their opinions will be taken by other people. Then Rasulullah says, ترغب الملائكة في خلتهم. May Allah give us all this honor. These are the people that angels are eager to become their friends. ترغب الملائكة في خلتهم. Khalil, you know, Ibrahim was Khalil, means friend. Khalla means friendship. You can reach a position that angels would love to become your friends. وَبِأَجْنِحَتِهَا تَمْسَحُهُمْ. With their wings, they touch these scholars. وَفِي صَلَوَاتِهَا تُبَارِكُ عَلَيْهِمْ. And in their salutations, they ask Allah to bless them. يَسْتَغْفِرُ لَهُمْ كُلُّ رَطْبٍ وَيَابِسٍ حَتَّى خِيتَانُ الْبَحْرِ وَحَوَامُهُ وَسِبَاعُ الْبَرِّ وَأَنْعَامُهُ. Everything in this world will ask Allah to forgive them. Even animals in the sea, on the land, all ask Allah, please forgive this person. The hadith continues, inshallah. I can send the hadith and can be spread. So there is such a great position for people who learn and people who teach. And we have to, inshallah, make our best to make our community a community which is seriously involved in teaching and learning. Hadith says mu'min should not die unless he or she is either teaching or learning. The best place to die is a classroom, because that's where we are teaching only. Or maybe in the mosque, but when we are teaching or learning. You know, Rasulullah went to the mosque and saw two groups of people, two circles. One were doing zikr, one were learning. Rasulullah said both of them are doing good, but he joined the people who were learning. He said, God has sent me for this. So we should make our community a community that has set up as top priority seeking knowledge, but from its people and its sources, not any person and any source. فَاقْتَبِسُوهُ. Please remember this. فَاطْلُبُوا الْعِلْمِ فِي مَضَانِّهِ وَاقْتَبِسُوهُ مِنْ أَهْلِهِ. This is very important to remember. I found beautiful stories about the role of teachers, and I thought maybe I share with you one, two stories that you are all familiar, inshallah, just as a reminder for myself and you, that how a teacher can have impact. Because sometimes maybe you have people who come from not religious families and you think maybe you cannot succeed because the parents are not able to help. You say, what can I do as a teacher? So this story is very important. Yazid had a son whose name was Muawiyah. So he's known as second Muawiyah. So his father was Muawiyah, his son was also Muawiyah. Now, as a teacher, if I ask you, please teach son of Yazid, what do you do? You would say, please don't bring him to me. I have already enough, troubles. I don't want to deal with the son of Yazid. Or maybe even you show anger, but this is not the way. Even son of Yazid has to be treated with respect and with justice. The son of Yazid is not Yazid. Mother of this child also was not a good woman. Has a bad history, bad reputation. So, son of Yazid and son of a bad mother, and grandfather is Muawiyah, and the grandfather is Abu Sufyan. Can you have a student better than this? But when Yazid died in Damascus, where it was a crime to praise Imam Ali. Muawiyah had established this practice of cursing Amirul Mu'mineen all over the Islamic state. But the center was Sham. In Sham there was a big brainwashing against Ahlul Bayt. You know all this. So, in Sham, and Yazid is just, buried, he declared in front of everyone that my father and grandfather were Qasim. They usurped Khilafah. It didn't belong to them. And it should go to Ahlul Bayt. How? He had a Shia teacher, a lover of Ahlul Bayt. So a teacher can help against genes, blood relation, family upbringing, food, because Yazid's food was not also halal. Anything bad, a teacher can help a person to find his or her way back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because every person is born with fitrah. Even son of Yazid is born with fitrah. كل مولود يولد على الفطرة. So this shows the power of teaching. Or Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz had a good teacher, and because of that, he stopped cursing of Amirul Mu'mineen. He decided to give back Fadak to the progeny of Lady Fatima. And 2 years that he ruled is the perhaps best years in the whole period that Umayyads ruled, because of teacher. There are other examples from our ulama I wanted to mention, but I think I stop because I want to listen to you. So we should never underestimate the great position that we have, great responsibility that we have, and great work that we can do. We can overcome all obstacles, all barriers, if we sincerely want to help. Inshallah, Allah will put barakah in your work and make you every, inshallah, year better in delivering your responsibility. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.